Oh, do you want to say hello, do you?
Can you tell me a little bit about you and your family?
I'm a single mum by choice. I had Elizabeth with a donor, and my family were not supportive at all. And I have a beautiful family network, like in my friends and my community, but the direct family support wasn't there. So that's had its own emotional scarring. It has been challenging to move through. And then to have the extra challenges of cancer and stuff this year just adds to the layering, I guess. So Elizabeth is an amazing little superstar who at 14 and a half months was diagnosed with ALL B-cell, which is leukemia. She was flown to John Hunter Hospital on the 4th of January, and today is the 5th of October. And she's had pretty much 6 months worth of treatment in Newcastle, which just didn't do the job. And so we've come to Sydney for a bone marrow transplant. So she had 43 nights in hospital, and 4 weeks of that were locked in a room that was a 3.5 by 4 metre room where she wasn't allowed out the whole time. And she's just handled it all like an absolute little rock star. And
a rock star.
So proud of her. She's just a little legend, and I draw so much strength from her.
So talk to me about the space that you were in before Inspired Mother.
Mentally, I hated the world. Felt like, I wouldn't say I'd been punished, but it wasn't far off. I was just really angry with the cards I'd been dealt, that it was just so not fair, to fight to even have her in the first place, and then to be given this diagnosis, to go through it by myself, to then have COVID on top of that, just in such a dark place, staying up late, eating crap, getting up late, just didn't really want to function at all. So I just couldn't give her anything. And then it's that parental mum guilt,
Yeah.
And then I felt bad because I wasn't being positive and bright and bubbly and let's read a book and let's do this and let's do that. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. And then you beat yourself up because that's where your head's at. It's just such a bad sign.
You spoke to me a lot there about your emotional eating and your stress eating.
Heaps. Like the worst, I stayed up till 3 a.m. one day watching TV, and I'd be eating half to 3/4 of the time I'd be up. So that's a lot of extra food. I had such a solid routine.
Yeah.
When we were in hospital, because everything's timed, Still, the food prep's all there. Like, I've got a shitload of meals in the freezer.
Yeah.
But the exercise has improved. I've actually put my Brave panties. I was meant to message you yesterday. Put my Brave panties on and actually did a 45-minute workout. Which was really good. And I went, well, fuck it, it's only getting up that, doing a little bit more. But no, it's definitely a sustainable program. Like, I just think it's absolutely fucking awesome. And you're so personable. That's the biggest thing, because we all pull so much different stuff from it, but yet it's the same kind of thing.
Talking about that first call and how all you had was a microwave and your fridge at that point, and then since then you've got a blender, food processor, you've got your rice cooker, you've like got all out, you've got the whole hulk, and like all the appliances have got them all now.
Yeah, I look like a dick at hospital. I bought a jug, a rice cooker, and an air fryer, and I had all of them in my room at the hospital, and they're just like, who are you? And then the ward granny come in. I think she's been a ward granny for 10 years, so she gets allocated to you to help support you and give me a bit of a break and stuff.
Yeah.
And she'd come in, and I was chopping up veggies and doing food prep and shit before she turned up, because I was going to cook that day while she was there. And she said, in my 10 years, I've never, ever walked into a room with a parent doing food prep. And I'm like, well, you have now. Because I genuinely feel like actual transplant side of things, I absolutely smoked through it. Compared to the rest of the year, it was a walk in the park. I'd do that 10 times over, even though it was 6 weeks in hospital, than what I would the rest of the year that we've done. And I know
Why do you think that is? Why do you think it was so much of a breeze in comparison?
But it was my headset. It was my mindset and where I was at. Because you just tackle everything so much better. Like, I was in a really dark place when I met you, and I'll never forget that call when we got told we're going to have a transplant, and we were still in hospital at the time, and then when we got let out a couple of days later, I can remember walking out, and I was telling you, I walked out of the front entrance of the John Hunter Hospital, and I felt the sun on my face and the breeze on my face, on my skin, and I just burst into tears walking across the pedestrian crossing because I'm like, I don't know when I'll ever feel this again. Yeah, all the nurses just loved my positivity and bubbliness, and then that shines through to her.
Yeah.
You know, they look to us so much, and they feed off us tremendously. Like, it's just crazy. Whereas you walk into the kitchen and some of the parents are just like, and you're like, yeah, I know life's shit. I know this is a bitch, and I know none of us want to be here, but guess what? We're here. So let's support each other and let's pull each other up on bad days and tell each other that for every kid that's in here that's sick and that's relapsed and all the bad stories we hear, there's 10 kids that are out there doing their thing because they're cured. You know, and we don't see those kids. You know, we just see the negative, so you're just surrounded with negative. But you got to remember that all that good stuff is out there.
Oh, but like you said, like as soon as you get home, you can then create a routine that works for you at home with your own business and what your life looks like back there. You know, like all these things you've learned are just going to transfer at home. And if you can make it work in hospital, then you can definitely make it work when you actually get home and have like control over your circumstances and your routine.
I'm excited. I'm really excited. Like, oh, thank you. It's just been absolutely amazing, the whole journey. Really don't think I could have gone through it as well as what I had without you.
Hi, Elizabeth.
What are your shoes? Did you say bye-bye?
Bye.